Hi everyone! Today is going to be a continuation of a video I posted a few months ago called A Search for Cool Toned Makeup. This time we're not looking at cool tones, but instead looking at muted tones. So I'm personally a summer mute, which is someone who leans on the cool side, like in the cool warm spectrum, but who specifically needs things that are not too saturated. So the products I'm going to show you today are things that I find suitable for people with muted or desaturated skin tones. I will say I do lean on the quite pale side, so some of the products I'm going to show might not be suited for people who are summer mute or have muted skin tones, who have darker skin tones. But if there are some products that I really think are not suitable for darker skin tones, I'll definitely point it out. The issue I had with a lot of makeup is whenever I applied makeup, I never really took into consideration saturation level. So a lot of the times things would make me look quite sickly, and sometimes I do want to look sickly, I won't lie, but sometimes it just makes me look very green, very gray, very blue, that kind of look. So eventually I found out it's because I'm muted. So here we go. If you're like me, I hope you find something nice among here. This is just going to be a chatty, casual video, and we're going to go with eye makeup, cheek makeup, and then lip makeup. You can go ahead and use the timestamps below if you're interested in certain things specifically. All right, let's go. I have a few palettes and other things to show you today in terms of eye makeup. I'm just going to go through them one by one and show you how they look like. This is the Flower Nose Strawberry Cupid Face Palette in 01 Strawberry Cassis, which is a Chinese exclusive color palette. It's much more desaturated compared to the global one. I think that this is a very good neutral muted palette. As you can see, some of the more detailed embossing has disappeared, but you can still see the angels and stuff and the hearts, which is nice. A lot of people say that this is a cool toned palette. It is absolutely not a cool toned palette in my opinion. It is something that is neutral, leaning warm. Here are all the matte shades. Like all Flower Nose palettes, the pigmentation is quite good, so you will have no issue with that, and the colors tend to blend quite nicely as well. I get a lot of questions over the browns right here, whether they're warm or not, whether they're desaturated. They are desaturated, but one of them, specifically this lightest one here, in real life, in my opinion, is like a tad bit warm, but it's still definitely passable because it is muted in color. I personally use these bottom two colors as eyeliners, but I think you could definitely make a really nice smoky eye with these. I'm just not someone who wears that kind of color. As for these two colors, this light white color is not one that shows up very much. However, this is a face palette, not an eyeshadow palette. So I do believe that this pink is meant to be like a blush, and this one is meant to be more of a highlighting color, like a highlighting blush. So keep that in mind when you take a look at this. It's not strictly an eyeshadow palette. I did also see, I think this shade, this one right here, the equivalent one on the international palette is like shimmery. This one is completely matte. Here are the two shimmers. Flower Nose tends to be really good at their shimmers. One of them is more pink toned, while this one is like a silvery champagne color. They're both really pretty, except this one's definitely glossier and a lot chunkier. I highly recommend this palette if you can get your hands on it. I know it's a bit difficult to get China exclusive Flower Nose items in the West, but I think it's very versatile and it's very useful to bring on holidays as well, because you have basically a blush, eyeshadow, highlighter, and eyeliner all in one, depending on what you'd like to use. I think this is the best neutral muted palette that I have. I do have another Flower Nose palette to show you here. This one's an eyeshadow palette strictly. It is the Butterfly Cloud Color 02 Cloud Attire. This one is available on global as well. It's not a Chinese exclusive. And these are the colors it comes with. Then you could tell which ones are my favorite based on the embossing that's left. It's these two right here. Here's how the matte eyeshadows look like. I honestly really love these shades. My favorite one is this one up here, but I tend to mix these two. Like I just dab my brush in both of them and go crazy. I would say this pink right here is actually a bit more bright on the skin than it looks like in the pan, but it's still suitable if you want like a pop of color on muted skin tones. This black is not actually a black. It's kind of like almost a cool gray, like a cool dark gray. There's something a bit blue, turquoisey about it. If you are someone who's into kind of lavenders, lilacs, that kind of tone makeup, I think you might like this palette a bit more than the previous one, because although I don't consider this pink necessarily cool tone, it does lean cooler than the other one. The shimmers in this palette are also super gorgeous. They're both the chunkier type of flower nose ones. One is silver with a hint of like pink sparkles, and the other one is pink, but it's kind of like, would you say duochrome? It shines pink and purple. I think, as usual, it's a bit hard to make shimmers pop up very well on camera. If you are a flower nose fan who is muted and quite cool toned, definitely recommend this one. I just wanted to show you also that these palettes are not the same size. The Strawberry Cupid one is a bit bigger. I actually reach for this one more when I'm trying to achieve a peachy look. Just because you are cool tone doesn't mean you can't achieve a kind of warm tone that suits you. You just need to pick the right items. This one works well for that, and this is the one I reach more on a daily basis. This one right here is the Lily by Red Mixtape Milky Berry Studio. It is the palette I use the most on a daily basis. Although this middle pink here looks really bright, all of them are really nice muted pinks that work really well if you are like a pink lover like me. The pigmentation is also quite good. Here's how the matte colors look. I just want to point out, I'm not sure if you can see well, this pink right here has shimmers in it. Wow, the zoom in is quite good. I should have zoomed in on the other ones. Sorry. The shades I really like using are this one right here and this sparkly one. I like to mix them a lot, and I use this one kind of to make things pop, like using it just a little bit. But I want to point out the browns. I think these are my favorite muted browns among all the palettes I have. They are specifically a bit pink toned. They're like a muted, cool, pinky brown. And that is exactly what I want. I'm actually going to compare all the browns for you later just so you can see the difference, because they do start looking a bit the same. There's always like 3 shades of brown in these palettes. Here are the 3 shimmers. This first one here is this pink one up here, and the bottom 2 are these. So one of them clearly has a pink to it, but the shine is silver. It's like silvery pink. It's not over the top. It's not as pink as you would imagine when seeing it in the palette. This one is more of a white with a purple pearlescent sheen, and this one is your standard silver, pink, purple sparkle that you see in most of these palettes. Except I think that they're not as impressive compared to the flower nose ones. However, these are still very, very pretty. Just to show you again, the colors I use the most are this one and this one mixed together with this one as a bit of pop, and sometimes I use these as eyeliners too. The last palette I want to show you is actually a palette I got quite recently. We actually opened in Hong Kong about 2 weeks ago, and they had a really good 15% off sale in the first week. So I managed to cop this there, as well as several other products that you're going to see later. In general, I really like Fui. Fui is like one of those Korean brands that I always anticipate. While I wasn't really interested in those blurry lip and cheek pots, I really liked everything they released after. So you'll be seeing a lot of them coming up here. So this is the Fui More Mood eyeshadow palette, and this one is specifically 03 More Than Pink. I'd also like to show you, compared to my other palettes, it's quite thin. Even compared to this Lily by Red one, it feels a bit sleeker. This is an aside, but I do like how all the individual names are written at the back of these 2 palettes. It's not something you see in the flower nose ones, for example. I think they do have individual names, but you have to go online to see them. Here's how the shades look like. This bottom row right here is a bunch of shimmers, so I'm going to show you those later and instead swatch these right here. Alright, here's how the top and the middle row look like. I do think compared to the Lily by Red one and the flower nose ones, this one is a bit more sheer. But I still do like these because I've had a lot of other Korean palettes, and I do feel like when they have these kind of light tones, they might look a bit just like white, you know, very chalky. I don't think these are chalky. I think they're just like not as pigmented. But I still really like this palette. The only thing that I would have a mild complaint of is that some of the colors look really similar, like these 2 pinks right here. and these two right here. There is a difference between these two, and it's that one of them has sparkles and the other one doesn't. But yeah, if you look in the pan, these two colors especially, there's a mild difference, but they are very, very similar. Maybe it would have been nice to see this one be slightly a bit more different. But yeah, I've gotten this 2 weeks ago and I've been reaching for it a lot just because I think it works really well in combination to the Lily by Red one. I like using them together a lot. The shades I've been using the most are actually these two purple ones together, as well as these two pink ones together. I really like these ones. I think if you want something that is a bit more on the sheer side and not too crazy in terms of color, I think this might be a good palette for you. Sorry, I feel like I kind of ran out of space for these shimmers. We have lots of different textures of shimmers. These first three are more pearlescent, especially these first two are very similar to the standard white pearlescent one with like a pink or purple sheen. It's very similar to this one from the Lily by Red one. As you can see up here, they are very similar, but not quite the same. I actually think the Lily by Red one does it better. Like this one has a stronger pink sheen, but if you want something more subtle, these two from Flee are quite good. This pink is really nice. It's actually properly pink. It's not just a sheer white, and the pearlescent look is really nice too. These two are chunkier, like proper sparkles. This one right here, which is specifically this one, is chunky. I think they call it, is it like a slurry? Like the ones where the glitter is quite chunky and a bit wet. I recommend this palette for people who just want colors that all look like they work with each other and that are a bit sheerer in their application, but still provide a nice shade of like muted pinks and lilacs. Although I will say the purple ones come off warmer when they're applied. So watch out for that if that's the main draw for you. Okay, I was going to move on to the single shadows and stuff like that I had, but I was contemplating whether to put this next item into the cheek section or the eyeshadow section, and I decided I'm actually going to put it in the eyeshadow section just because it's what I use it for the most. So this is the Flee Pocket Cheek Palette, which I don't use for my cheeks. It's CP03 Grape and Berry. It comes in that trendy like Flee keychain style. It just opens like this. As you can see, there's a mirror here. I'm just gonna cover it. And here are the colors. I actually really love all four of these colors. And before I even swatch them, I just wanted to say something because I saw a lot of hate on this product. And I do agree it's not Flee's best product, but for who it is for, I think it is excellent. So the main criticism this product gets, not just this one, but like all four shades. There's like a blue one, an orange one, and then a muted warm toned one, and a muted cool toned one, which is this one right here. The criticism is that it doesn't show up, it's not pigmented. And I do think that that is valid criticism because this is one of those products that I feel are not suitable for people with even a slight hint of color in their skin. Like if you are even a bit tan, I think this product is not for you, which is too bad. It makes me think like since Flee like to expand their color range, it would be nice for them to maybe release more of these products with colors that can show up a bit more on other skin tones, like darker skin tones. But yeah, I do think this product though is very suitable for people who are like on the really pale side, or specifically this one, this Grape palette is good for really pale muted people. And one of the complaints I saw regarding this one and the muted warm one specifically is that all the colors look like bruised colors. Like they're not pretty, they're too gray, they're too brown, they look like you got punched or something. And I just want to say those colors are not for you. These colors are for muted people. If these show up like you look bruised, then you're probably not muted toned. So let me show you how these look like on me. Here's how the four colors look like. I think they're just so good for pasty, muted people like me. Like the color shows up, which is really nice, but it doesn't look too overpowering, and that's what I really like about them. So we have a kind of lilac purple, a kind of neutral pink, a kind of cooler, more desaturated like mauve color, and then a desaturated brown. And this is a cheek palette, right? But like I said, I prefer to use these for eyeshadows. Like I would not use this or this on my cheeks. I would use these on my cheeks, honestly, but I like just using it as a base for eyeshadow, or even just to transition between my eyeshadow and my cheeks, just because I like blending my eyeshadow with my blush. I've been really into this ever since I got it. As you can see, they've been kind of like squished in. So this is one of those Flee products that come in like that kind of squishy texture, if you can see. However, I do want to make one little complaint. I do have some other Flee products of the same texture, which I'm going to show you later. These don't feel as solid. I'm not sure if you can see well, but the more you use it, the more it creates this kind of dents, like it squishes in, and it like jiggles a bit and creates these ruptures and dents around it, so it doesn't feel like it's as secure compared to their Mellow Duo blushes, for example. So I recommend you to be careful when you use these. Also, since it's quite small, you end up with smudges around here because you're like going like this and it's going all over the place. So yeah, potentially can get messy. You're meant to carry this around on your bag, right? Not me. I'm not bringing this outside. But if you are planning to do that, then maybe be careful. I have two isolated products to show you. The first one is from Javin de Soul. I think it's meant to be pronounced the French way, so should it be like Javin de Seoul? I don't know. But this is one of their colored eyeshadow primers in light lilac. And I really like this as an eyeshadow primer. So it comes with this small applicator, and the color is really beautiful. It is the perfect muted lilac color. It is liquid, but it spreads out really well and is quite pigmented. It's a very soft feeling type of texture, and it dries powdery. And yeah, you can use it as a primer for your eyeshadow. I really do like this one. I've been using it to replace my usual primer quite well. I'm actually interested in their other products. I hadn't really heard of them properly before I got this, but I'm quite impressed with this product, so I'll definitely keep an eye out for them. The second product, if you're on my channel, you've seen this like disgusting thing before. It's the 16 brand Briquette eyeshadow in SP13 Devil Rose. It is discontinued. These are the same thing, it's just that this one's faded from the sun. To give you the short story, I've had 3 of these, and I had them since like, when was it? 2017? Oh my god. And that one's gone, but I loved it so much that I bought 3 because, you know, I'm a bit of a, like, I'm scared of things discontinuing, and I should have been because it discontinued. But it is my favorite kind of like mauvey pink dusty eyeshadow. Here's how it looks like. It's this kind of I don't know how to say it. It's like a pinky, dusty, purple brown kind of color. If you compare it to the Javin de Soul one, this one is definitely more on the pink side. I think it looks a bit more brown on camera. It's a bit lighter in real life. I love this eyeshadow, and I have not found one that comes even close to this color. It is the perfect eyeshadow to me, and because of that, I still use this to this day. Luckily, it actually takes a long time to finish an eyeshadow, so I've been going through these well. It is one of my favorite eyeshadows, and I'm showing this to you even though you can't get it anymore, just because if you have something that's similar to this, please recommend it to me. Thank you. Before I move on to eyeliners, I just want to show you a comparison of the brown tones. So I'll be swatching the brown tones from these 3 palettes, just so that you can see the difference and see maybe if you're looking for a muted brown, which one you'd prefer. So here's how they look like. The first column right here is the Flower Nose Strawberry Cupid. It's the most gray leaning of the bunch. However, it is also quite neutral in its color. The second one here is the Flee palette. It is properly dusty as well. However, it has more variety than the others. So for example, this top one is a bit like of a pinkish brown, but these 2 feel a bit more of like a yellowy based brown. This last one over here is the Lily by Red palette, and it is my favorite of the bunch. They are browns that lean pink, so dusty, cool, pinkish browns. So yeah, depending on what you're looking for, any of these palettes might be suitable for you. Alright, we're moving on to eyeliners, and I'm mildly distressed because I can see I've been filming for 45 minutes already, and I've literally, like, I'm still on the eye part, which is like crazy work. So I basically only have 3 eyeliners, And these are used when I'm not using a brush with one of the eyeshadows, because I also use those as eyeliners too. The one I use the most by far is this Can Make Creamy Touch Liner. I can't remember the number of this, but it's Strawberry Storm. It kind of matches the color of the like packaging. It's a kind of grayish purple brown. I think it is super pretty. The thing with being like a summer mute, like a muted toned person, it means that you are like not only low saturation but also low contrast. For example, you don't have like that brightness in contrast to like dark colors, or at least personally I don't. Maybe I don't want to talk for everyone else, but for me that means that I can't have things that are highly contrasting. So I don't own black eyeliner. I never use black eyeliner just because it's too much on me. So this kind of grayish brown with a bit of like hint of pink is what I prefer to use. I really like this Can Make one just because it has a creamy texture. On a basic level, it doesn't smudge much. I'm pretty sure if you're like quite oily, it does smudge. For me, it does not, so I really like it. The next one I've had for a while is this Dolly Wink one, and the logo is like fading, and it's number 07. I can't remember the name. It's just a purple liquid eyeliner. It's basically the same color, just in eyeliner form, and it's a bit lighter, right? And you can go over it to darken it a bit if you'd like. I use this when I have fake nails, like press-ons on, because I use my nail to wing out the eyeliner like this to create that kind of faded point. However, when I have press-ons on, I can't do that, so I use this instead. This last one is from Heroin Make, and it's the Secret Shading Eyeliner. So this is not exactly eyeliner, like you wouldn't use it like these two. Instead, it's kind of those ones to like shade your aegyo side, you know, like the fat under your eyes. It is like this. You can't see it too much. It's a very subtle pinkish brown, and it's also more like dispersive, like it spreads out easily. A bit like watercolor if you'd like, right? I use this to shade my under eye sometimes when I want a bit more definition, but I don't really want to apply anything too harsh on it. So this is not an eyeliner like these two, but it still comes in that kind of liquid pen format. I guess you can make some flicks with it, but it will spread out. Again, very similar to watercolors. I think that marks the end of all the eye products I wanted to show you that are suitable for muted tones. So let's go ahead and move on to cheek products. Okay, we have all the muted blush products I wanted to show you today. So there's a variety here. We have some liquid, some powder, some squishy, however you'd like to say it. I think we're gonna go, I guess, by texture. So let's start with the liquid blushes. This is the Flower Nose Strawberry Cupid liquid blush in 01. Can't remember the name, I'll put it up for you. And this is one of my favorite light pink blushes. First of all, I really like the applicator here. It is really thick and chunky, and this is a really pigmented blush, okay? Alright, a little of this blush goes a long way. So here's how it looks like on its own. It's a light pink color that I would say is neutral leaning cool. There's an 02 of this that's clearly neutral leaning warm to me, and because of that, this is my favorite one. Let me show you how much it spreads out. Here's how it looks like spread out. It is just a really nice, I guess like a baby pink that looks quite nice. Bit of a glowy pink too, because it's a bit translucent on the cheeks. I really like this as a base, and I usually add some other colors on top to accentuate the color. This is one of my favorite liquid blushes. The second one is from Oyat. I got this recently on my trip to Korea, and it's because I was really impressed by the color. This one is color 03. First of all, I really like the packaging. Metallic silver heart, of course you're gonna get me. Here's how the applicator looks like. I say like a doe foot applicator is a bit bent, so it's like easier to apply. Because this is also a lip product actually. Personally, I really don't like how this looks on the lips, so I only use it on cheek. One thing that I do have concern of is if it will be possible to actually get all of the product due to the shape of, you know, like the container, but we'll see about that. It's this kind of muted light purple shade. It's definitely on the cooler side compared to this one just because it's leaning purple. Here's how it looks like blended out. It's kind of similar to this one, except I think this one is a bit stickier perhaps than the flower nose one. So one of them is purple leaning and the other one is pink leaning. I will say, to me, this pink is, I said neutral leaning cool. However, I do use it when I want to have a peach kind of tone on my cheeks. I want to show you two balm type ones next. First one is by Lily by Red and the second one is by Took. Oh, it's upside down. Took. This is the Lily by Red Love Beam Cheek Balm in 10 Poto Beam, which is Grape Beam. And this is the third Lily by Red, heart-shaped blush that I have. I really like the texture of them, but I do think it's a bit hard to open up. They all come with a mirror, by the way. I'm not sure if you can see, but the rim, which is not as much touched, is a bit like warmer than the actual color of the product itself. When I first opened it, I was like, ooh, it's warmer than I thought, but it's actually not bad. This texture is one of my favorite balm type blushes. Compared to the other two, it is a bit darker, but what I really like about these Lily by Red Love Cheek Balms is that they spread out really well, really nicely. So you can sheer them up as much as you want. But if you want more color, you can definitely go in and build it up too, right? So I think this is a very versatile and also very affordable product. These are very good for the price they're at. This is the Satin Dohua Balm by Took and it's the color 05 Taro Milk. And I really like the packaging, and I also have like a little puff here, but I think I'm going to be using my finger today. As you can see, the texture is also one of those balmy ones. However, I think that this one is a bit more firm compared to the Lily by Red one. Here's how it looks like. And then spread out. It looks a bit like that. I use this blush specifically when I want something a bit more natural. I think it's like just the perfect, I don't know, like neutral pinky blush for me. But I think this is still considered slightly cool leaning. It is properly muted though, so I highly recommend it for those who can get their hands on it. Out of these two, I've personally been using the Took one more than the Lily by Red one, just because although I do like the Lily by Red one, I find the Took one just easier to apply for a daily look. Both of these, highly recommend, but the Lily by Red one is probably easier to get your hands on in the West. I was thinking about wiping this off, but I think I'm going to keep it and just start doing things on my other hand. These next two products here are like my daily use products. I use them a lot. This one's been through it. They're of that squishy, I don't know what it's called. It's like that squishy texture that is quite trendy these days. Let's start with the Flea one. Sorry, let me get rid of this. This is how it looks like without the cushion. It's Flea's Mellow Dual Blusher, and this one's MV02 Icy Cupid. MV02 Icy Cupid, right? It's the one that's kind of like the desaturated purple and pink mauve, I don't know. As you can see, I've used it quite well. I actually think that I might finish this pink one too. Like I might hit something for it, but yeah. And before I even start, you can see, just like with that keychain cheek palette I showed you from Flea earlier, there is that kind of crack forming around the sides here. However, I've been using this for several months now. It is much firmer than the keychain one. The keychain one formed deeper cracks than this within 2 weeks, while this one is just starting to develop those, and it's been several months. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Let me show you the squishy texture. See it? I find this texture really, really enjoyable to work with. The concept is that you're meant to use this big one, like the purple here, as a base and this one as a point color, but I don't find myself using this as a base much, only occasionally. It's this clear, icy purple. I think it's actually not very versatile to use as like a blush on its own, but it does serve a brightening purpose that's quite nice. The second one is actually the reason why I bought it. It's this really, really pretty muted tone, I guess like a pink purple, mauve, I'm not sure. It's like somewhere in the intersection of all the colors I like, which is nice. And just so you know, I'm gonna show you how they look like together. they create this kind of lighter pink look right here. I use this mildly as a highlighting color, but I use this a lot along with, like, in combination with all the blushes I have as the point color, just because it has that perfect level of saturation for me. And it's just, I don't know, it's perfect. I really like using it. I just really like Flea. But before I move on, let me compare the two purples. As you can see, there's a light purple here and there's also that purple over here. They are actually different. Let me show you. The top one is this purple, while the bottom one is the keychain purple. I'm not sure if you can see it much, but basically the keychain purple is more saturated, less chalky than this one. This one does have a chalkiness to it. Now this one, this is Holika's Tinted Milk Cream Blush in Taro Latte. It has a very similar name to the Tuk one. We have Taro Latte and Taro Milk. This is my most used blush, and because of that, it looks absolutely disgusting, so I hope you'll forgive me. I think last time I showed this to you, I said I don't use the puff, but as you can see, I've been using the puff well. And yeah, there's like a crater with smears on it. It's honestly disgusting looking, I'm sorry. But I hope that the way it looks now shows you how much I love this blush. Okay. So it also is meant to have that kind of squishy texture. However, I've used this so much that, like, in the inside here, it's actually like a bit more liquidy than it should be. Like, it smears around very easily. And it looks like horrific, really. Just close your eyes for a minute, okay? Just close your eyes. This is my favorite blush color. So as you put it here, it's very, very strong, right? It has that kind of purple color to it. The reason why is that I put a lot on my finger, but also you're meant to, like, pat it out with this instead. Like, it does actually work really well. So that's how it looks like, which looks a bit better, right? And to me, this is considered a cool, like a cool gray toned, not purple, but like leaning purplish pink kind of blush. To me, it's the perfect pink toned blush, like on my cheeks. It looks pink on me, which is what I really, really like. And although it's very strong, it spreads out really, really beautifully and it feels nice on the skin. Like you see here, I sheared it out really well, even though it was really dark. You can definitely build it up again. Like, just apply with your finger, right? And you can make it a bit darker. There you go. This blush is my #1 recommendation for muted tone, like summer mute blushes. Look at how disgusting it is and be convinced that I really, really, really do love this product, okay? I actually have this in another color because I loved it so much, and I like it too, but it's not as suitable for muted skin tones, so this is the only one I'm going to show you guys today. I'm going to move on to powders now, and the first one is the Roman Better Than Cheek NO2 Vine Nude. This is the powder I use the most. It is also the softest powder I've felt in my life. I really, really like the texture of this. It looks really chalky here, but when you apply it, it has this really nice purple color. It's like that pinkish purple color I really love. It's not too bright, but it brings like a good amount of color to you. My daily combo is actually the Holika one I just showed you, the Flea, like this color, the point one in the center, and then I sweep over with this Romand one. I also have this one by Etude. It's the Heart Pop blusher in the color Squeeze Berry, and it's just like a light pink. This is the second blush I go to daily. It's a bit more saturated than the Romand one, and it's also a bit chunky sometimes, but I still do like it if I want something a bit brighter, a bit more pinky toned. I also really, really like this packaging. I'm going to move to some products that are technically considered blushes, but I think they work as highlighters as well because they have a lot of sheen to them. Let me just go ahead and wipe all this and then we'll get into them. This first product is by 2-1. It is honestly a product I cannot read, but it's color X07. And it looks like this. As you can see, I'm a bit precious with using this because I'm like, ooh, I think it's like limited edition or something. I'm not sure if you can get it anymore. It's a very cool pink powder with a purple sheen. I don't know if you can see that. There's like some good reflection to it. It has this really, really, really pretty, cool purple sheen to it. It's so beautiful. I really, really love this blush. I don't even know if you could consider this a blush or just a highlighter, but I use it kind of like both. It brings a really good glow to your cheeks while highlighting the color you put under because it's also, you know, pink. Highly recommend if you're really into that kind of shine in products. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up as well as I would have liked on camera, but trust me, it's very beautiful. This second one is kind of surprising. I actually got this very recently. It's MAC's Extra Dimension Blush in Dilly Dolly, which I think came out several years ago, but I got this secondhand, basically new, and I was so impressed by how beautiful it was. It's this cool toned light pink blush, but again, it has a lot of shine to it that makes it just so gorgeous. Compared to the 2-1 blush, as you can see, the 2-1 blush has that kind of glow to it. This one instead has more of a wet look to it. So this is how it looks like. Here you go. As you can see, it is like pink, like if you see me put it out of color, but it has that kind of really beautiful wettish sheen to it that I really like. I don't know if you can get this color anymore, but I saw another one called Into the Pink at the MAC store, and I think that it is quite similar, perhaps maybe a bit less cool, but still equally beautiful. The reason why I think these two, I guess like highlighter blush hybrids work so well is because they're not very, like they don't go crazy on the color, they're not too saturated, but the effects, like the payoff they give is really nice. So I highly recommend them if you're looking for something, not necessarily a subtle glow, but just one that's suitable for muted skin tones. Before I move on from cheeks, I want to show you the colors I use to achieve a peachy kind of look. So these are all very purple, pink, mauve kind of colors, but I do have some that I use if I want to go for like a peachy look. Here are the ones I recommend. I think what's important to remember when you are buying makeup that suits you is that just because you're cool toned or muted or whatever doesn't mean you can't achieve like a warm look on your face. It just means you can't use the same products. It's just that you need to find the right products so that they look that way on your skin, because not every color looks the same way on other skins. Like it's like color theory, right? So for me, it's picking out these kind of neutral peach pinks that are very grayish. Like this one in particular is very gray. I'm gonna start with this Dinto one. This is the Soft Glow Perfect Liquid Cheek, and it is P219 Ave Maria, except this came with a pairing with the Ave Maria lip tint. So like I don't think you could get on your own, which was very frustrating. Just comes like this, as you can see, quite desaturated in color. But it is super pretty if you want to achieve that kind of peachy glow, but you are, you know, a summer mute. This is honestly my favorite, like, I guess like peachy blush on me. It's just that I don't think you could buy this alone, and I don't know, I just don't know what I'll do when I run out of it, so... So on the quest to find something similar, I ordered this Haggard blush. I can't remember the shade, but I'll put it up for you. Although the design is really nice, it is quite bulky. I wish it was a bit smaller, especially this cap. Because of this cap, like I can't put this anywhere like easily. But yeah, it comes in a pump, which is quite hygienic. As you can see, similarly, it has that kind of grayish tone, but this is one of those Chinese products that look grayish, and the more you spread it, it gains a bit more color. Chinese makeup products, I feel, tend to have a lot more color suitable for muted skin tones, and they also have a lot of like pigment to them compared to like Japanese or Korean products. This is how it looks like. I will say it does take a while to dry down. As you can see, there's still like that reflection to it compared to this one, which dried down really quickly. I think that they are similar in color, except this one is a bit darker, and I think that the texture is not as nice as the Dinto one because it's easy to like create like empty spots like this by over, you know, like, can you see like how if I try to spread it too much, it kind of does spread all over the place a bit too easily, and it creates these kind of like lumpy looks to it. Wait, my vein is sticking out too much. Give me a minute. All right, so I got rid of the vein. Anyway, that's what I have to work with right now. I have these two that help me achieve a bit of a peachier kind of look. The very last one I want to show you is similar to the 2-1 and the MAC product I just showed you right here. It's just the Powder Cheeks blush from CanMake, except I use them more as a highlighter. You can see it's this really, really light peachy orange color with a light blue sheen. And the reason why I like this one is that it's peachy, but it has a cool sheen to it. It's color P04. It comes with this brush, which is actually quite nice, but I'm going to use my finger to show you. Here's how it looks like. I think in the camera it looks just white. There is that slight peachiness in real life. It is really nice to go over like these peachier colors if you want to give them a bit more glow. The only criticism I have of this is that if you're like me and you have big pores, then this sometimes accentuates your pores. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it doesn't sink into your pores well and it kind of makes them stand out, which is not the best, so be careful if you're looking into this product. Those are all of my muted tone cheek products that I could recommend to you. Let's move on to lip products now, because that's an area I had a lot of problem with.